what are your thoughts with Bamford? I mean, presumably you saw his goal, which is typical, isn't it? Typically, he does nothing for the best part of 4 years, and then he just drills a world-class goal in like that. And, and we're looking at it now. Now, my perception is right now, Dad, it is the perfect time to bin him off. His stock is high, or relatively high, what it has been in terms of the last however many months. His stock is high. He's not going to get into a top championship club, but we'd be able to sell him for a decent fee, and maybe some clubs with probably compensation would be able to take his wages off, which I know are pretty high. Obviously, I want to get your thoughts on this. Is he the way forward? And what I will say, Dad, is strategically, tactically, I don't know if you've heard me say this and go on about this, which I do consistently do. He gives us another option, Dad, because Joel Perreault is not a 9, as I keep saying. Rutter is not a 9, as I keep saying. They both play in front of the defence, and one doesn't go like that, and the other one doesn't go like that. They both stand like that, and they're within 2 or 3 yards going backwards and forwards of each other, which means they're easy to defend against. And I think that's why we've had a few problems. What I've enjoyed with Bamford being in the side is, oh my God, we've actually gone long for once. And we've hit him, and we're winning the second balls in and around him, which is a bit of variance in how we're playing. Now, the problem is it's Patrick Bamford, and it's him being in the team. But to be honest, Dad, the bigger question is, why on earth did they buy Joel Perreault?
Well, I'm just thinking back to your statement there a few moments ago when you said it could be the perfect time to bin Bamford off. That's quite a bold statement, because already, all of a sudden, you're going to get the people like us and naysayers about Patrick Bamford generally coming on board, which I feel a little bit inclined to do. But you're saying maybe it's the best time to bin him off. Yeah.
And get another striker, by the way. Get another striker who is long term for us, and someone who replicates the same attributes but is younger and better than Bamford.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? You see, he scored twice in a week, hasn't he? And that goal was just as good a goal as I've ever seen, I think. Just an incredible instinctive goal. And we all know that Patrick Bamford, we've said it for years, is a fantastic striker from an instinctive point of view. Yeah. He's almost second to none. The things, when you'd least expect it, he comes up with something like he did the other day. And he's done that throughout his time with Leeds, from what I can see. It's when he gets something laid on a plate, isn't it? And we all get frustrated time and time again when he misses these easy opportunities. I mean, he actually had one earlier on in that match, didn't he, against Peterborough?
Yeah, he did.
Which really he should have scored. Yeah. But that's Patrick Bamford all over. I'm inclined to think with him at the moment, though, Connor, he gives us something different, which is what you've just said. And it seems all of a sudden that will have given him so much confidence, the fact that he's banged in a goal like that. All of a sudden, he can't wait to be getting on that pitch and playing for Leeds United. He can't wait for that. And he'll be thinking about that for the game on Saturday. And I'm sure, from Farke's point of view, he's thinking, we've got a player here with his tail up. So I expect him to start against Cardiff on Saturday. So I wouldn't, in all honesty, and I know I could be ruining me saying this in 2 or 3 games when he's injured and he's sidelined again. But at this moment in time, you've got to stick with him, Connor. And he's certainly worthwhile having on board, and he offers us something differently. With regard to Perreault, I mean, I didn't see enough of him at Swansea to honestly, that qualifies for me to comment on this. It's only what I've seen at Leeds, and it's only the explanation that Farke gave earlier on in the season when people are asking about his strikers and where they should be playing. Yeah. He seems to know how he wants to play his strikers and in what position he wants to play them. Bamford definitely does give him an alternative now, doesn't he? There's a plan B there. So even if you don't see Perreault or Rutter as being an out number 9, we've got one now in Bamford up until he gets injured next. And then we're stuck again, aren't we? But, there's a kid that keeps on appearing on the bench, isn't there? Fernandez, Joseph, or whatever you want to call him. He's got something there. He's appearing on the bench. So maybe that's another option if Bamford does get injured. I suppose at some point in the day, Connor, you've got to look at it and you've got to think, well, when are we always want to strengthen teams. We always want to strengthen a squad. But, when you're Leeds United in the Championship, we've got more resources than most of the clubs, we know that, but you can only do so much. So and honestly, if we can keep Bamford going with this level of confidence, I wouldn't be binning him off.
No, I know. it's the chances that he's had previously, and we've seen this before. And I don't want to judge him too heavily on a pub team coming to Ellen Road and him scoring, and then us playing Peterborough in League One. Don't get me wrong, unbelievable goal, but like you've quite rightly said, Bamford doing Bamford things. You know, some of his link-up play was tad sloppy, but then some of it was really good. And then the chance he missed at the start, of course, but then he scores that wonder goal. But it's too infrequent, and the dependability and reliability, as I always say, Dad, as for a forward, it's got to be, you've got to be playing 95% of the time and performing championship level at a good rate. Like, if you don't mind me interrupting, son, what you've got to remember as well from Bamford and the way he's been in the past and the way he's played for us, his form does tend to come in streaks. Yeah, it does.
So if we've got Bamford now at the start of a streak, it's well worth keeping him in the team, and he does that, and he'll do it. He'll go now if we can keep him in the team and we can keep him fit. I bet he's going to notch 6, 7, 8 goals over the next couple of months. Now that could be invaluable to us.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. I mean, yeah, as I say, like, streaks is difficult to analyse, really, Dad, because obviously, there's one season, last season or the season before, where he just didn't play. I mean, he didn't play. I think he played 2 or 3 games. Yeah. He's getting towards 31 now, and I just wonder if still it's that situation. We all want him to do well. Like, I'd love it for him to score 7 or 8 goals, but I've not seen enough from him to make me think that that's going to happen. Form-wise, I don't think it sticks for him a lot, and injuries just seem to come consistently. So, it's difficult to just say, now we've got another option. Now we've got a way of playing, which I think we have. I think, Rutter looked better. Rutter looked miles better in the 10. Perot even looked better in the 10 with Bamford ahead of him. So that's good. But I just wonder, are we going to... Could there potentially be some regret in if we could go and actually get a proper number 9? It was going to be with Leeds in the Premier League, and there's longevity there, and he mirrors some of the same attributes. And we're at this point right now where Bamford would have a few takers. That's where I come from with it, really. But
I understand.
But Dad, I would still, context applied, I would still start him because he gives that different strategic idea against Cardiff, and I would start him for the foreseeable. I would, because at this moment in time, with Perot and with Rutter, in my opinion, it doesn't work, and we're becoming way too predictable. So Bamford...
Yeah, and also, Connor, we know that he does tend to play with these streaks and confidence, and then unfortunately gets an injury or something happens or whatever, and he's forced out of the game for another 3 or 4 weeks, and it takes him forever to get his form back.
But this is the risk. But this is the risk that we've spoken about with Ayling. This is the risk that we've spoken about with Firpo. This is the risk that we're speaking about with Bamford. There's always risks in how Leeds United go about their transfer business. This is the problem, because we almost get caught in a false sense of security. Like, oh, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine. Like, and we've seen this so many times in so many transfer windows with Leeds United, where there's, it's. I don't really know how to describe it. It's almost like situational. It's like, for example, even, you just look at outside the transfer window. Do you remember when Jesse Marsh beat Liverpool and suddenly Leeds decided to keep him in the job, when at that point, apparently the 49ers were going to sack him? It's all really situational. It's like now Bamford scored 2 goals. It's like, were they potentially looking at offloading him in this window? Who knows? But, maybe that would have been a situation. I don't know. But
just look at that then, Connor, offloading him, binning him. Which clubs do you think would be happy to take him? Would it be the lower reach Premier League teams? I mean, we wouldn't want to sell him to a competitor in the Championship. Would he go abroad? Would he go to Scotland? Where would he go? How much would he be worth? I mean, how long's left? I think he's still got a couple of years left on his contract. I mean, I honestly don't know who the takers would be. It might be a Luton. I don't know.
And he's on a big wage as well. Wage bracket. So, yeah. I don't know. I think we've just got to be careful with this sudden narrative of Patrick Bamford being the second coming. We've done this so many times before.
He isn't. And I'd agree with you on that. But it's certainly a very strong plan B. And at the moment, I would say plan A definitely moving forwards, because we've got to make the most of where he's at the moment, and he's going to be absolutely brimming with confidence after that match. It'll feel like a world beater. It really will. Let's just hope he keeps up with it, because we know what can sometimes happen with Leeds. We get these very big highs, and all of a sudden next game you're you're right down there again. Let's just hope he can keep it up.